Hi, this is Jay Lee at frogcube.com, and today I'm going to show you how to install a version 5 conversion kit. And these are specifically for 20-gallon high Aqueon aquariums. You can use it on a 20-gallon long, but I'm specifically going to show you how to do it on a 20-gallon high. Now, you will need to cut the glass yourself for this. You will need to go buy glass, maybe at Lowe's Home Improvement or Ace Hardware, a True Value one that sells glass. You're probably going to want to take a 20-inch by 16-inch and have that cut down to size. Now, the top part of the glass will be specifically 16 inches tall by 11 and 1/8 inch wide. You could do 11 and a quarter if you wanted to, and that's probably what you'll need for a long as well, 11 and a quarter, but the height will be different. For the bottom glass, you are going to need something that is 11 and 3/4 wide by 4 and 3/4 tall. You could go 4 and 7/8 tall, but then you won't have any wiggle room in case you've made errors. So I generally like to make it a little lower, 4 and 3/4. Also, you're going to want to use some sandpaper, maybe mid-grit, and basically sand the edges, just to make sure you don't cut yourself. Really recommend you do that. At the very least, you're going to want to do that on the door where you open and close it, just to be on the safe side. Also, on the aquarium itself, you're going to go to the edges here, and you're going to take a razor blade, and you're going to cut out the excess silicone that's in the edges. And the reason for that is if you don't do it, you're not going to be able to fit the glass inside in place or the hinges. So just something to think about in advance as you're setting things up. Now, once you're ready to go, you're going to have two vents like this, and you'll know top vent versus bottom vent because I will have an arrow with the number going in the right direction telling you, hey, this goes down and this one goes up. And then you will pop them in, but you will probably want to silicone them in. Now, one thing I recommend as I'm talking to you about it right now is that you silicone the top one into place. You add silicone right here at the top edge and in the back, but not the bottom one yet. And it's because the bottom one's going to be for adjustments. I usually use GE silicone. I like to use silicone too, but many of you who are worried about the mold inhibitor probably want to use the one then. That does take 24 hours to cure as opposed to 3 or 4 hours. Just something to think about. The other thing that's going to come with the kit is hinges to place on this. And to put the hinges on, you'll see that the hinge will have a little lip right there at the end to stop you from putting the glass too far. So you'll take the glass, and as you see, you'll put the silicone on the edge of the glass and then pop this into place. You'll also want to do that. You also may want to add some silicone to not the outside here, not the part where the hinge is, the door to pull it open, but on the inside where it is on a little bit of an edge there. And by putting it here, it also makes sure, just a little extra to help keep things in place, but it also makes sure that if you have condensation that occurs on the glass, it'll fall on the silicone and then off rather than getting stuck within that edge. Just something to think about. So I'm going to put the other one on. And again, I'm just putting them on temporarily. But seriously, you need to silicone these into place or you won't be able to even get this on. In fact, I would silicone this first and let it cure for, well, 3 or 4 hours or 24 hours, depending on what you're using. And I'm obviously not paying attention here because I need to make sure that I get this on right. These are pretty loose, so you can push them right on and make sure it's nice and tight or flat with this. I used to make them a little tighter, which at least then hugged the glass, but some people got concerned when putting the glass on. They're afraid they're going to cut themselves, or they just wouldn't sand the glass and end up cutting themselves. So I made them looser, which means you have to silicone them for sure. Otherwise, when you try to hook them on, this is going to end up opening up like that, and then you'll have that space, and it won't be properly aligned. So, one other thing, you are going to get a little bag that contains these little hooks and a hex key. And you're going to need these because to make sure the top stays in place while you're doing all this work, you're going to want to pop these on. So these will keep it in place while everything's curing. And then you take your glass. Oh, forgot to put the bottom one on. My bad, sorry guys. And again, you are not going to silicone the bottom one in place yet because you're going to want to make adjustments here at the bottom. But the top and the glass door is fine. So you'll just pop it in and set it into place. Like I said, because I don't have this silicone, I'm getting a little bit of sag here, which is causing an issue. That's why I'm saying you're going to want to make sure it's nice and tight. If you want this space between the top vent and the hinge to be closer, or you're worried that this is going to pop out, just tighten it with the hex key. That's all. Just tighten it with the hex key. And that'll make a smaller space right here. But it also make a bigger space at the bottom. So that is why we haven't siliconed the bottom yet, because we have room, about 3 millimeters, for adjustment to pull that up or pull that down and make sure that it is parallel with the hinge. So the vent is parallel with the hinge. Once you get it where you want it, you can always pop it off, put the bead of silicone right on the top of the glass, and then pop this on top, and then align it and let it harden for 24 hours, and you're good to go. So I'm just gonna, I would say I would do all of that and then lock it into place. But again, you may not see this right here, but this is bending. And again, that is bending because I did not silicone it into place first. So that would cause a whole bunch of problems to your alignment. So that's why I'm saying silicone the top, silicone the hinges into place, let those harden. You might as well do the glass at the bottom here too. And you're going to silicone last, after all the adjustments, the bottom vent. Okay, again, these are available on the website, but currently they're available. If you purchase version 4, you're going to get this version 5. And that's pretty much it for me. I'm Jay Lee, and this is FryCube.com. Thanks for watching.